Hi everyone, and welcome to round 2 of my video Scrabble strategy tutorials. Last time I covered the 4 basic strategies involved in Scrabble, which are offense, defense, leave, and board management. I've edited the pilot with consideration for some of the feedback you gave me, so if you've already seen it, you can go back and watch it to see some of the changes I've made, or if you haven't seen it, it would be a really good idea to go back and watch that first so you have a little bit better of an idea what I'll be talking about in this video and the next videos. I want to point out here that if you disagree with anything that I'm saying, or if you think I'm leaving something out, then please tell me in the comments. After all, I don't want to be misleading anybody, and discussion really is the best learning environment. In this episode, I won't be delving into any of those 4 strategies by themselves, but will rather be using all of them to explain one thing, and as this is the first real lesson I'll be giving, will appropriately be starting with the opening move. This is not only a good place to start from for metaphorical reasons, but also because the strategy involved is generally very black and white, which means there would usually always be a best move that you can choose from, and it's definitely the easiest to explain. Explaining offense in the first move is pretty much a piece of cake, mostly because you don't have any options. Now, obviously the best play you can do would be to bingo, and it being the opening play, you won't even have to look for any bingo lanes to play it. Of course, only 1 in 7 opening racks contains a bingo, and the fact that you would recognize it makes those chances even slimmer. Barring this possibility, it is a real advantage if your play is 5 or 6 letters long. Now, I know I'm going against my previous mantra that longer is not better, but in your opening play, these double letter scores that are on the sides 5 tiles away from the center are really your only friends in your slim portfolio of options. You can see here that expanding the word zany to zayin by just using an I will give you an extra 22 points. And congratulations, you've just learned everything there is to know about offense on the first move. Defense takes a few more things into consideration. The first thing we're going to talk about, mainly because it was that blatantly wrong topic that I was discussing in the previous video, is these double letter scores. Bonus squares can hurt twice as much if they're used in parallel play, and we want to avoid that. By playing consonants next to the double letter scores, it forces your opponent to play low scoring vowels on them instead of high scoring consonants. Don't gamble that your opponent doesn't have a given prefix or suffix in their rack, because you're liable to give them some really easy points. Blitzer may look like the best play with the Z on the double letter score, but there's a 38% chance your opponent has a blank or an S and can hook it for blitzers. This gives them 57 points from the hook alone. With those odds, it may be better to play it with the B on the double letter score and take the 14-point hit. Flick nets the highest points with the K on the double letter score, but it is possible your opponents have the ERS, ERY, or ING extensions for an easy 60 points. It is better to take the 2-point cut than to take the risk, and play that F on the double letter score instead. After all, Flick has no 3-letter front extensions, and it's pretty unlikely that your opponent is going to have the rack to play flickeringly. Now there's one more consideration if all of these leave you still with a few possibilities. You might only have a 1 in 7 chances of bingoing on the first round, but your opponent has a lot more chances in coming down and building an 8-letter bingo through the word you just played. Say you play a 6-letter word, your opponent will have 6 prime bingo lanes. Don't think you should play shorter words, but putting bad letters in the worst bingo lanes can help. Have a word like cuke. To avoid the vowels by the double letter score, you can play this with either the U or the E on the center square. Should your opponent have a bingo, it is more likely to use your E plus more 8's end in E than start or end in U. Therefore, try avoiding putting the E on the bingo lane that would give him a triple word score. Furthermore, should he play killable through your E, you have a great K right next to a triple word score. Right now, this early in the game, your leave and your board management strategies shouldn't deviate too much from how they stack up in the rest of the game, in the middle of the game. One notable exception, of course, would be because you are at the beginning of the game and the board is so open, you're going to have a lot more chances to bingo, and so you should keep your tiles, which are more friendly to bingoing, and your high point tiles, which would be more friendly for parallel plays and for blocking. You can see that the opening play is a pretty easy move to master. All the strategy is systematic, and decisions might be hard, but at least when you're making those decisions, you always have all the information available to you. From here, it only gets tougher. Thanks for watching, and good luck on all your games.